This video is all about English pronouns. Pronouns are one of the smallest but mightiest word classes in English. They belong to the closed class or function category of English words, meaning we use relatively few of them and they're not particularly liable to change over time. A pronoun is a word that can substitute for a noun or an entire noun phrase in a clause. So, pronouns save us from repeating words by referring back to nominals in a kind of shorthand. For example, a noun phrase like the students who recently graduated could be replaced by they in a subsequent sentence. The meaning of the whole noun phrase is preserved because the pronoun points back to its antecedent. Importantly, pronouns participate in systems of person, first, second, third, number, singular or plural, gender, masculine, feminine, and neither, and grammatical role, subject, object, or possessor. We can divide English pronouns into several other subcategories. The most common ones are personal pronouns in their subjective case forms, including he, she, and they, and their objective case forms, including him, her, and them. Possessive pronouns, including mine, yours, and hers, which encode ownership. Reflexive and intensive pronouns, including herself and themselves, which we use when the subject and object refer to the same thing in a sentence. For example, I looked at myself in the mirror. Demonstrative pronouns, as in this, that, these, and those, which point to things. Interrogative pronouns, which we use to pose questions. Relative pronouns, including who, whom, which, that, and whoever, which introduce relative clauses. And indefinite pronouns, including someone, anybody, nothing, everyone, each, some, and many, which refer to non-specific people or things. Unlike nouns, English pronouns still show visible case inflection. In older varieties of English, nouns inflected to show what job they were doing in a sentence. But English has lost its noun case marking system over many centuries. The three core cases still visible on English pronouns are subjective case, including forms such as I, he, she, we, they, and who, which we use for subjects and subject complements. Objective case, including forms such as me, him, her, us, them, and whom, which we use for direct objects, indirect objects, and objects of prepositions, and possessive case, including forms such as my and mine, and her and hers, which we use to signal ownership. For example, in the sentence, she called him, she is functioning as the sentence subject, so the pronoun appears in subjective case, whereas him is functioning as the sentence object, so the pronoun appears in objective case. In the sentence, that book is hers, hers in this case is a possessive pronoun, standing in for a more specific possessive noun, such as Sarah's or Rory's. Pronoun case can sometimes be confusing. Certain varieties, dialects, and registers of English accept non-standard pronoun forms, which is why case errors like me and him went to the formal stand out in carefully edited writing, but are fine in everyday conversation. Most pronouns depend on an antecedent for their meaning, but not all pronouns have one. Expletive pronouns, also called dummy or pleonastic pronouns, fill the subject position in a sentence without contributing any actual meaning. The two main expletives in English are expletive it, such as in it is raining, or it is a truth universally acknowledged, and expletive there, such as in there are many books to choose from. In sentences like these, the dummy subject simply sits in subject position without referring to anything in the real world. Expletives are crucial sometimes when we're describing the weather, for example, or making simple statements about existence, but they have no antecedent to point back to. Generally, when links between pronouns and their antecedent noun phrases become unclear or unstuck, readers may stumble or misinterpret what they're reading, seeing, or hearing. Consider a sentence like, when the child spoke to the librarian, she was shy. Who is she? The librarian or the child? This is a classic case of ambiguous pronoun reference. Clear, accessible writing avoids unclear pronoun references by placing the pronoun close to its antecedent, ensuring only one plausible antecedent matches in number and gender, if it's relevant, and repeating the noun when clarity is more important than variety. Clear pronoun references are crucial to coherent texts because pronouns are like a glue that helps hold our writing together. Use them carefully.